Welcome back to Krown's Crypto Cave, and hey, happy Thursday morning. You made it all the way to Thursday. You're almost at Friday, which means more magic and money because it doesn't fucking sleep. Anyways, before wasting any more time, let's get into the live scene right over here, talking about a little bit more short-term trade ideas. But hey, we have actually plenty to talk about today, and actually really the last couple days have been actually quite fun. So I hope that everyone's doing well out there in cryptocurrency land. And let's get into it right over here. Bitcoin selling down a little bit. And I just want to be aware of the most important things first. Again, 6150, as long as you're above there, I can be generally neutral. Don't really want to have a big short, don't really want to have a big long. Just kind of looking at this right here. And as long as you're above 6150, you can make the argument for Bitcoin that perhaps it does just go sideways for a prolonged period of time, and we capitulate that way. By the same token, the second that you break 6150 is the second that I become and represent my trading habits extremely bearishly. Anyways, overall, this small descending triangle right here that we've been living in for the last 3 months, it was broken technically to the upside, but a very weak break, so to say. Extremely weak break would, a little bit of a weak break would be an understatement. Very low volume down here, being held by all major moving averages, and even sold back down to retest this area right here before bouncing back up. Now this reaction over here has been decent. The volume on it very anemic, so I don't like that. If you're not familiar with that term, it just means that it's not, it's not too convincing. But when we do go down to lower time frames, it does look better. It does look a lot better to me. So let's just kind of map out the areas we've been speaking on and kind of go over how to trade this. So we broke that back down below this guy right here, 6460, and we were kind of speaking on how Bitcoin was likely to come back down into this area and test like 6450 to 6470-ish area, and it looks like we got all the way down to about 6440. So again, this area right here is very important for Bitcoin to hold. You'll notice that it's also the 4-hour 21 exponential right over here, as well as this nice horizontal. So here's the thing: if Bitcoin breaks this area, I do become a little bit more, bearish is not the right word, but the right word would be I become very cautious, and I don't want to have any longs. I just want to be holding my options essentially, and perhaps be looking for a short. So overall, if you do break 6440, which is again the critical area, if you do close a 2-hour dildo below there, I do believe that you'll very likely see 6360-ish area to 6380, somewhere in this range right here. So again, range trading at its best, absolutely fucking love it. Bitcoin never really hit the area that I was looking for around 6630. So what am I looking for over here? Again, this is not a death sentence right here. It's, I don't want to say expected. That's the wrong term to use. And I don't want to sound like an arrogant asshole who's trying to say, I knew exactly what was going to happen. No, I don't think that is appropriate. But what I do think is appropriate is to understand how we got that. Again, this area over here, giving a lot of bearish divergence on your oscillators over here, 4-hour bearish divergence. Not only that, but your 4-hour stochs kind of turning down and giving you the signal as well, rejecting the more bullish zone, or the more critical zone, I should say. But here's the thing: as long as you're holding above this here level right here, Jesus Christ, could it be more redundant? 6440. You can make the argument for it. And that level does change on different exchanges. So we had the same level on BitMexico over here, which was a little bit higher, about 6460. So sorry if I'm jumping around numbers from yesterday. That is why that is the difference. That is due to the difference in exchanges. The analysis is still the same levels. So when it comes down to it, if you do break 6440, that's where things become a lot more iffy. You really want to see Bitcoin take this next leg up. Overall, this would be the stairs to success, or the steps to success, if you can take that next level. But again, it is looking a little bit weaker right here, and I'm getting a few sell signals actually as well. You're trending back below the exponential as well, but again, I'd wait for a price action to confirm first. This is not the time to be aggressive in trading Bitcoin. This is what I try to really get out when I hear all the people who are like, "You fucking morons, Bact is coming soon and you will regret not longing Bitcoin for the last 5 months." And it's like, okay, well, you've just gone fucking sideways for the last 5 months. So you haven't missed out on anything. By the same token, if you're looking for a huge short, by the same token, it's not until you break 6150 until that's appropriate to have either. So that's the difference between me and most analysts. Is I'm actually gonna wait for. I actually do this as a living, so I'm actually gonna wait for an actual legitimate trade. But hey, if you just want to call things out and try to be a fucking soothsayer and then cancel your hedge, that was on the wrong side. Well, hang out on crypto Twitter. Anyways, this isn't about shit talking to other people. This is about actual fucking trading over here, not that watered down mainstream bullshit. God damn it. Anyways, overall, as long as Bitcoin's holding above this area right here, it does still have the chance to kind of pick itself back up by its bootstraps and give another run for 66.30. Why is that level important? Well, that's the level that is of great importance because that is the area that we've been living under for the last 11 months. This ascending trend line over here. And no, I do not believe that we're working on a descending triangle anymore. I think that we're working on something new. A lot of people are looking at this as either a falling wedge if you're bullish or a descending triangle if you're very bearish. I would say it's not either. It's not either. We don't have the right volume characteristics for this guy right over here. It's not acting like one either. You typically want to see these things break when they're about 80 to 90% full. This one's like damn near close. And overall, it's more of a question mark than anything. So people trying to call it either which way, I think, are just very, 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 very naive. Maybe they're not intentionally misleading people or anything like that. Maybe they truly do believe that. But at the end of the day, this to me is just something new. We have something new going on. It looks like it wants to kind of take another leg up. But again, if 64.40 breaks, no, I would not be looking to. I would be looking for probably places to short at that point. And I would take that short trade down to probably like 63.70, give or take a few bucks is what I'd imagine it would come out to. So I'm going to get rid of this line right here because we don't really want to be talking about that right now. But overall, daily Stokes over here are kind of losing momentum, so be careful. 12-hour have crossed to the downside. This is your 12-hour right here, and 12-hour, not looking the hottest of all time, but could also just be coming back to retest this crossover here. But again, I don't want to see this one break 64.40. If it breaks 64.40, I'm not really looking to be long. I'm not really looking to have longs. Again, my only positions over here are really just options positions right now. Just working the straddle over here, a very fucked up version of a straddle, and it's kind of a slight spread as well. Although those are going to expire worthless. But hey, that's part of the game. Got to cover yourself. We got new options sheets coming in a couple hours. At 11 my time, so a couple hours. And again, I should always remind everyone that my options program is actually live now. So if you do want to learn how to make money just fucking sitting on your ass and just letting $100 come into your account every day, which this is a very, 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 very small position. I mean, I could boost this up, double, triple on my main account, but this is my streamer account, so I don't have too much margin on it. Then definitely check out that Jesus Christ, that program. The link's in the description of this video. Again, options are they require a lot of dedicated attention. So understand that that one is quite the odyssey. That program itself is actually longer in length than the technical analysis program. It's 42 modules as of now. Yes, you do get access to one of my special indicators, and you also get access to the VIP Discord. Jesus Christ, VIP Discord sounds so silly. It's just a place where all the guys in the programs kind of congregate and talk amongst each other, because it's like a more, I suppose, selective community, just because people have to really want to be there, right? And that's who you really want to surround yourself with if you do want to make this your living. We have a lot of professionals there, some guys who are just new as well, and that's been one of the unsung heroes of the program, is just having that sort of community to be able to always bounce ideas off each other. And I mean, just the fucking guys in there are just incredible as well. Like, they can put into programming my sort of strategies, and it's just beautiful that we have that sort of give and go between each other, and just again just fucking phenomenal people. Anyways, okay, so back now over here to good old Bitcoins. You can see that higher time frames are kind of holding it. 10 hour did give you kind of a signal over here with breaking this 200 exponential moving average. So I am a little bit hesitant off that. I really want to see this 10 hour close back above this 200 simple right here, which would likely be coming in around this 64.60 level. So again, I'm just kind of thinking ahead. Not a good thing to be doing when you're doing a technical analysis, but again, just going off of past prior experience, that's what I'd be looking for if we were to kind of resume a more bullish interpretation of this, and we'd probably spend a little bit of time around this 64.60 level as well. So again, I don't really have any spot positions right now. I'm pretty much neutral on that, just playing the options, as those are just much more easy to manage. Took profit on my buy yesterday that I showed on the morning video, so I'm just kind of sitting back and enjoying and relaxing because it's nice to be able to fucking sleep while you have a position on making money for you. Anyways, going into the hourly over here, hourly does look like it probably wants to pop up a little bit over here. Does look like it wants to kind of test 64.80ish area. Hourly Stokes kind of at the more critical bottom area right here, looking like they are losing some momentum as my eyes tire, but hourly RSI over here kind of testing the edge of the super bearish zone and rejecting it. So I do think that we probably test back up over here, maybe even give a kiss to the 21 exponential. And if you can start closing dildos back above 64.60 on GDAX, which would be 64.80 on other exchanges, to be fair, it does differ, and I hope that doesn't like throw anyone off. But you know, then I do think that we'd pop back up to about 65.30ish area, kind of the area that we were hanging out during yesterday, and perhaps, and I think that at that point you probably do test 66.30, that area. So again, this is pretty critical next couple days. Actually, speaking of couple days, let's go over the higher time frames. And again, this is why I don't want to get too bullish or too bearish. Right here, right now. Overall, nothing's changed from the higher time frames. I mean, yes, we did close our first 2-day dildo above this 21 exponential, very low volume over here. So do I put much weight on it? Not as much. Still got the 2-day dildo death cross right over here, the green 55 cross on the downside of the purple 200. And there's a very long wick on this dildo right here. In fact, this dildo will be ending tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So a lot of time to do something, but at the same point in time, if it ends anywhere here or lower, it's not going to look too hot to me. Again, I want to point out the only other time that Bitcoin's ever had a 2-day dildo death cross in the 10-year history of Bitcoin, which I can actually now officially say because Bitcoin's birthday was on October 31st. But right over here, you had the 55 exponential cross on the downside of the purple 200 exponential right over here, and then you'll notice a very similar price action where Bitcoin actually came back, tested the 55, rejected from it, and then spent about a month to a month and a half just going sideways along this 21, even closing a couple dildos above it along the way. But again, very low volume, very low volume action down around there, and then eventually just gave it up and accelerated to the downside. So that is what I want to be very adamant about. This is a very powerful cross in my experience, the 2-day dildo death cross. Again, Bitcoin's only had one example of it, but if we went to equities, which is where I come from, if you're not familiar with me or where I come from a background as a market maker in equity options on New York Stock Exchange, ARCA. I can show you that there are some pretty nasty implications of getting a 2-day dildo death cross, and yes, this does look like a legitimate one to me. That's why I'm not looking to be like a super long player. I'll play along when it's time to play along, but like I showed yesterday, but I'm not really looking for it right now unless we pump back up above 6,500 essentially. Then I will buy again because I'll have to protect my options. But fair enough for right here, right now. If it were to end here or lower in the next, I don't know how many hours it is, but again, before 8 p.m. Eastern Time, that's not going to look too hot. 3-day over here, 3-day is getting rejected by the red 200 simple moving average and also the yellow 21 exponential moving average. Again, if it ends here or lower by the end of the day, I'm not going to like how this looks. Again, this is why I have to be very cautious. Again, you go back into 2014 and you look at the red 200 simple moving average. Once Bitcoin started both opening and closing dildos below it, that's where things started to get kind of bad. Now you'll look at this, the purple 200 exponential moving average, and that one was actually a little bit more powerful and more accurate as well. Because when did Bitcoin actually begin its bull market? Well, when it started, opening and closing dildos above that. The red 200 simple, yes, it got it as well, but it was a little bit later. It's more clunky, so to say. Exponentials that's why I use exponentials in general. So going back on over here, Bitcoin has not both opened and closed a 3-day dildo below the purple 200 exponential ever. It's only done it once in history in 2014. Over here, it saves it each and every time, just barely, but hey, it does it. But again, still being held by this red 200 simple, and we both open and close 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're working on a 6 right now, dildo below, and this one will close tonight. So still kind of living below that. It does call into question some things. But again, I want to see the 200 exponential. If you can both open and close below there, which would take a long time. I mean, we have to both open and close. So we have to first close one below there, and then we can try to do that. But that would also be a big nasty signal in my opinion. So yes, 6,100 price action. If you can break that on heavy volume, yeah, I'd get pretty damn bearish. By the same token, if you could do that on a 3-day dildo below this guy right here, which is actually around 6,300 even, $200 higher than the area that I'm looking at. yeah, I would start to get pretty damn bearish off that as well. So again, just kind of outline or outlaying places where I become interested in things and whatnot, and what I'd think. Because at the end of the day, we really haven't changed too much, even though we are having price action whip around. The higher time frames have not changed really at all. If we put on the 10 simple moving average represented by the red line now, I mean, it looks like we're still respecting this as resistance. I mean, this is kind of nasty right here. If again, I count this as a rejection, and this will be a rejection too if Bitcoin ends here or lower. But that's also, we end that on Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So it's just something to keep in mind. Again, the yellow 21 exponential crossing the downside of the green 55 right over here, and they are gaining momentum away from each other. So I was really looking for last week for them to actually like converge on each other. Instead, they diverged. So think of it as like a MACD histogram, the fucking McDonald's indicator, which no one fucking uses properly. If you want to learn how to use a MACD, I actually have a video on my YouTube channel. It's completely free. You can go look at it and actually learn how to use that fucking indicator. Everyone thinks you just, oh, it crossed. Oh, you have divergence. Like, all right, well, that makes, well, you might want to consider a few more things. So fair enough. Anyways, if the MACD actually just fucking worked like that, everyone on TradingView and YouTube would be rich who uses it. In fact, they're just posting on TradingView and YouTube and making their money from tips. I make my money from actually trading. So again, that's the difference between me and most people. I'm not trying to sound like an arrogant asshole when I say these sort of things, but I do want to separate myself from the average fucking shyster who I see on these social media venues who they'll never show their fucking trades. They'll never fucking show this, they'll never fucking show that. They always post up charts after the fact, and it's like, okay, yeah. All right, great. And then when they do show their position size, it's like fucking, it's like a few bucks. Like, all right, you'd have better luck. Crypto West said it fucking perfectly. You'd have better luck just fucking picking up quarters from a railroad track, and I agree, man. So again, that's why I go out of my way to verify myself. That's why I show my trades every day when I actually do have trades on. Again, going into 2014, the only other time you've ever had this exponential moving average cross was right over here, and very similar action. It even closed a couple of dildos above the red 10 simple moving average, but the big news here was that it got rejected from the 21 each and every time that it gave it a less impressive test. So again, this is why I'm very cautious. Overall, I want to be very adamant about this. I'm neither bullish nor bearish here. I'm pretty neutral. If I was looking at technical analysis is actually more bearish than anything. I mean, you kind of have to be over here. Just when you're making lower high after lower high after lower high for more than 11 months, well, it's like, well, I'm going to go with the former trend until basically proven otherwise. So let's kind of talk a little bit more about the bullish things, because I don't think I've fleshed out there the bullish idea enough. But going back now over here, yes, if Bitcoin could start closing some higher level dildos on good volume above 66.30, 66.40-ish area right over here. Also taking out the overall downtrend resistance line that has been living under, even though I don't necessarily think that it's a falling wedge or a descending triangle. It would be a change of behavior just by the fact of taking that out. So that's where I start to become a little bit more interested. If you could then take out this step, this would be kind of like the next step on the wall of worry around 67.50. And if you could make a higher high above 73.50-ish area over here, that would be a very impressive thing. Very, 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 very impressive. And don't get me wrong, I would be taking longs and trading these each and every time we take out one more level. And with each and every level kind of passed, it becomes less likely that Bitcoin does find itself at a lower area. Above there, I'd be looking at about 82, 8,300. And then the last kind of stair on the ladder is 10,000 right over here, a little under 10,000. So overall, Bitcoin can do it. There is a way forwards, and that's what I would likely think it looks like. But I also think that, if Bitcoin isn't going to go lower, it probably spends a lot of time going sideways here. So again, as long as you're above 6150, not too appropriate to be having like super big fucking shorts. As long as you're, as long as you're kind of below this area over here, it's still like very iffy. You're still more closer to the red alert zone than you are to the last step to success. But just trading ranges right now. That's why I'm always trading. I'm not looking to hold things. People who are looking for, guys, we're going to 7,000 end of day. It's like, hold on. You're gonna be stuck in this fucking trade for ages. Just like an unnamed person who took a trade to the downside is stuck in his trade, for the last 3 weeks. That's insanity, in my opinion. If you actually do this as a living, you need to be thinking opportunity cost. That is a huge missing factor, and it's a really easy way to tell someone who actually fucking trades for a living or not. if you understand that you need to that if you're stuck in a trade, if your trading capital is stuck in a trade, and you could be in another asset that is actually moving in any direction that would have opportunity, you're actually losing money by that metric, in my opinion, because you're missing out on the opportunity cost of something that actually is fucking working. By being in something like this, even if you are looking for downside and it does break to the downside, you've missed out on 3 weeks of fucking potential gains in something else, and you could have still gotten the same trade with about the same entry going in the same fucking direction if you even want to go to the downside. And same thing for the upside as well. That's why I'm always trading. When we broke this area over here, I took a trade to the downside and I closed it around 62.60ish area. I didn't get this wick down here because I'm not fucking perfect, man. Not fucking perfect. Then I actually didn't buy this either. I just closed my short over here, but I did buy this guy over here. I bought 64, and we went all the way up to here, and I closed it over there, and then I bought again when we broke out this guy over here, and I sold it, about 65.15 area. I didn't get the ultimate wick, but that's not what trading is about. That's why I really want to distance myself from the moon boys who want to, just fucking hold this shit for the rest of their lives. It's like, that's great if you really believe, if you just want to. I mean, at some point, whether you're probably gonna have to sell it, right? So, anyways, I don't know. Maybe people just want to look at the pixels on their screen and just be like, yes, 10 Bitcoins. It's like, all right, congratulations, man. Anyways, okay, so over here to the total market cap. Again, not my favorite way of doing things, but this thing has gotten a little bit iffy over here. Although the breakout's still okay. It's not super impressive, but it needs to hold this area right here. So to say something more concretely, needs to hold 211 billion. If you can hold 211 billion, it looks okay. If you break 211 billion, it just looks like a failure to me. If it were to do that again, if. By the same token, I do have a measured move actually taking us all the way to about 255 billion. Anyways, go over here and check out Mr. Buterol, and Mr. Buterol does make me very hesitant on this market right now. Mr. Buterol over here. Putting it on the, sorry, let's just redo this one together. Okay, so I want to be very clear in stating this. I'm going to be redrawing my triangle over here. The reason why is because that's the right thing to be doing. And again, this is why I hate diagonals. This is why I hate trading breakouts, because they just fucking fail, man. They just fucking fail. But hey, now the right way to be doing it is just redraw it like this. And yes, I know it's fucking annoying. I know it's one of those things where it's just like, but you said. It's like, yeah, but I also said that, look, your volume characteristics over here are not too impressive. It's not really analogous to a breakout. I was also pretty damn adamant in saying you need to see something like this over here to really dig you out and initiate that measure move that would be taking you all the way to about 269-ish area, 270-ish area. By the same token, a rejection dildo right here on heavy volume, and we're likely going down. Where's the next support? Well, I think the obvious one is right over here, which would be right around about 209.5. So again, Mr. Buterol getting rejected in that fashion, not good. Probably means that Bitcoin's going down a little bit as well. And I'll be looking right over here. Now you should notice that on the 4-hour, you will be getting a golden cross if Bitcoin and Ethereum can kind of basically keep it up and maybe go for another leg to the upside. You will actually get a golden cross on the 4-hour, which hasn't happened in quite some time. So that would be pretty impressive, but for right here, right now, does look like the short-term direction wants to go a little bit more down to me. Although, again, it is still holding above the 21, so I don't want to get, don't want to make you too bearish on this thing. It's not appropriate to be too bearish until you break the bottom side of this guy right over here, which would officially be around like 193-ish area on Buterol. And if you broke out above this area right here, well, then you could maybe try another breakout above about 220-ish area even. So again, that's what I'd be looking at for this guy. If things got a little bit worse below this guy right here at about 209.5, then I'd be looking at 206 for a trade. But again, that's where things really start to come into question. That would just look like another failed breakout, really. God, my eyes are so tired, man. I need more sleep. Anyways, when it comes down to it, I just want to exercise caution. That's why I'm not gung-ho either way right now. And I am very cautious of the downside right now. I've just seen these fucking fake outs too many times. So yeah, that's what I'll be looking out on for this guy. Again, if you want to resume the more bullish posturing, we really don't want to see Mr. Buterol give up 212 on BitMexico. And again, that's going to be different on Finex because Finex is, it's in its own world. GBTC over here, GBTC having a decent, man, This scares me as well. It's like, is this going to turn into an island top? We need to see how today goes. This is why I say $8 needs to be broken, and that's where I become a lot more confident. As you can see right now, it's kind of a rejection. We're going to find out in the next couple of days. Obviously, with when the stock market opens, if the stock market opens down, or sorry, not if the stock market opens down, but if GBTC opens down when the stock market opens later today, I would be careful. I would be very fucking careful of this. It's going to look like another rejection to me. I might even enter in a straight up short on Bitcoin if I were to see that. If you can close some dildos above $8.05, on the other hand, that would look very good. I would take longs off that. I'd take longs on that is what I mean to say. If that were to happen, but right here, right now, looking a little bit like it wants to come down. Stokes over here, getting in a more critical area. 4-hour RSI giving you bearish divergence. I don't like. I think it probably does open down, and I have a feeling we're gonna go further down, to be honest with you. So let's go over SPYs. What did SPYs do over here? SPYs, again, broke down, put in a bear flag, hit our measure move over here, pump back up. It's actually pumping up above my area now. Whoa, actually having a great close yesterday. So stock market really loves that Republicans. I guess, did Republicans win? I'm gonna guess that they did, or maybe the expectations was that the Democrats would win, and they didn't win as good as they wanted to. Again, I still think that if the weekly closes above 279.5, that's gonna start to look pretty damn good, to be honest with you. If the weekly closes below 279, which I think it will. Then I think that we still kind of go sideways and fill out this space for like the next like month or so, and then sometime in December or next year or January of next year we go down. Overall, still major bearish divergence on this guy right here. Major bearish divergence on this guy right here. Stochastics, major bearish divergence and cross into the downside as well. So don't like that. So again, got to be careful. This does look to me like it. I think that we probably do come back down today and come down and test 279. So again, I think stock market probably does close around there. So I'm not too convinced just yet. Is this an inverted head and shoulders? Well, it actually is. So let's kind of represent the other side as well. If this is an inverted head and shoulders, the measure move would actually be pointing you all the way towards new highs actually. So pretty fucking crazy shit. Again, I'd be waiting for dildos. I'd only really start to truly consider that if we close the weekly above that 279.5, 280ish area. But for right here, right now, looks like it wants to. It does look like it wants to rally. So we're gonna find that one out later today. Overall, very strong response from the political statements yesterday or whatever the fuck it was that went on in the U.S. markets. Let's go check out Dixie really quick. Dixie. Dixie breaking down. So we spoke about this, how it was likely to break down. Closing the day above the 21 exponential though. So that was good. Very good reaction off of this right here. So the fact that you close this dildo above the 21 exponential, that kind of satisfies all my expectations where, we were likely to come down, but we closed back above the 21. So I think that I think that when this one does open up, or I don't know if it's open right now, but I think it does give another try higher, 96 and $96.70, something like that. Daily stocks are coming down right now, and they are accelerating to the downside. You're going to be heading to the neutral zone pretty damn soon, trending below the exponential. But I do think that this one gives another try higher, around this area once again. Overall, kind of hit exactly where we were looking at, $95.60, and I think that we do rally up from here and test this area, and then we'll, if it breaks this area, $96.72, then yeah, we're probably gonna actually play out that nice measure move and hit I think it was $1.04. If that fails again though, then we're probably going to come back down and find some support somewhere right around $96 and 88 cents or 87.5 cents. So overall, a lot of things to be aware of over there. Let's go over where what else do we have? I think back onto Bitcoin, and we'll wrap this bitch up. And okay, cool. All right, great, awesome, good, phenomenal. All All right, so over here, let's go to the chart that we were using. Again, let's wrap this up. So okay, so as long as Bitcoin's above 64.40, you can make the argument that hey, maybe it does maybe it does pull through here. It does feel like Buteral wants to go lower. So if Buteral goes lower, you probably say that Bitcoin does as well. You got your 3-hour Stokes over here still heading down, heading south. You got your 10-hour just fresh cross as well. So that's I don't like that. But hey, if Bitcoin can hold it here, if Bitcoin can hold it above 64.40, I think that it goes sideways for like a day or so, and then we'll try again higher. By the same token, the second that you break 64.40, I think that you're on a one-way ticket back down to about 63.60, 63.80ish area, depending upon your exchange. And at that point, I'd probably start to be a little bit more bearish. But again, still can't be super bearish until you break 6100, 6150, down around here. So again, that's going to do it for this morning. Hope everyone's having a beautiful rest of your Thursday. I'll be back on live later, assuming that I get a little bit of sleep because my eyes are fucking tired. Anyway, it's been an absolute pleasure to speak with you, and I hope that this one finds you well, and I'll see you guys soon. Take care.